Hello everybody, it's the beginning of March 2025 and I'm looking at my Weeping Willow project, which, well, it seemed to get off to a great start, but over winter had a number of setbacks. Well, first setback was last year it lost the third of its three trunks, leaving this strange second trunk which I'm less and less convinced by as the time goes on. And then over with this winter, this entire section has died back, as has much of this side, leaving me to think, although I only went in this pot I think last year, I'm going to repot it at the new angle. I could try and wire this piece up, but I'm not sure there's a huge amount of mileage in it. If I zoom in, the buds are just popping, so now's a great time to repot it. And if I raise the camera up a little higher and come around this side a little bit, you'll see that Cooper the camera shy collie is indeed here keeping me company, but trying to stay out of camera shot and failing because the tripod's taller than he thought. So I've removed most of the pieces of wire that were left on the tree over winter. And interestingly, all the pieces that had wire on died back. I don't know if that's coincidence or something else, but anyway, before I take it out of the pot, I'm going to cut that away. This entire section is wholly dead, so not much for it, but say cheerio. I'm going to leave the wound as is, let it heal naturally. There's a bud popping just here, so it'll be interesting to see if that does anything to help close the wound. But yeah, this piece gone, and I can take off a few other pieces. That's left me with a very lopsided looking tree. So definitely going to need repotting and repositioning, but let's take off some of this dead stuff first, back to where I can see life and buds are popping. I think that's a bud there, so I can always go back a bit further later. It's a very dull and dreary looking day today, but there's life in this old thing yet. Excuse my elbow. Okay, as for this piece, I'm going to take it off as well once I get it three out of the pot, and maybe, just maybe, I'll have two Weeping Willows. Get rid of this detritus. Okay, so a bit of a struggle getting it out of the pot at first, but out it's come, and quite a solid root ball. You can see where it was starting to put out its roots. They went out into this little water tray that sits underneath it during the summer months. First of all, I'm going to try and clean off the surface much for that bud popping out. I just knocked it off with my thumb, but okay. Now then, I think to remove this I'm just going to have to cut it, and I haven't got my old saw anymore, so I'm going to use this one, and then I'll have to replace this one, I guess. I'm just going to go for it. Well, it hasn't come away with much root. Sorry, my elbow's in the way, but it has come away. So we'll try and rescue it. I have got some reasonable surface roots. I'm not too bothered about that at this stage. Just want to get the tree into a better position in the pot, but it's nice to have. I'm not going to try and disturb these roots too much, but I do need to change its planting angle, so I'm going to have to. What's the best way of doing this? I've already started ruining this saw, so in for a penny, in for a pound. I think that's going to, yeah, that is going to work. Where are my scissors? I'm going to take a little off around the edge as well, so that I can work some new soil in around it. Get rid of these roundy roots while I'm at it. I'll take some more off here. To facilitate the angle change. I think that might work. Okay, bringing the pot back in, I can see I still need to lose a lot more root on this side. And maybe a bit more front and back. I'll take this away because I'm just making a mess, and I've got rid of my potting tray. That's a much better fit, and I will be able to get it at its new angle, which will be something like this. Yeah, something like that. And this branch will be coming right towards us. I think no, I'm thinking like that. Then hopefully this branch will continue to sprout, and I'll get some growth that direction. I keep looking at it, and I've actually come to the conclusion that I like this as a potential new front positioning. that leaves this branch coming directly out, and I'm just going to lose it in its entirety. And I'm going to shorten that one back to another bud there, and take that off there. Okay, so you missed that top section. My fault, my bad, sorry. But anyway, that'll be the new setup. Let's get it potted. What I'm using is a variation on my normal mix, which is normally 10 cat litter Kitty Friend Pink I use. Sunny Cat, I think the make is. 5 parts grit and 2 parts organic component, usually some sort of potting compost, whatever I can get my hands on. In this case it's 10, 5 and 5, so an extra amount of the potting compost, because these are such thirsty trees. Drainage screens are in. I'm going to put in some slow release fertilizer, about a scoop and a half. Mix that in so the roots aren't sitting directly on it, but it's still sort of halfway up the pot. Need a little more. Scrunch the tree right down into that so that there are no air pockets underneath. I haven't quite got that angle that I wanted. Yeah, that's better. That rather neatly covers that scar also. Now I can just fill in, make sure that I fill in any gaps at the side. There's my little dipper. Okay, another scoop or so just before I add the final layer. I like to add my fertilizer near the top of the pot, or in the middle of the pot rather than at the bottom. Some people do, but I always think then once it starts leaching out the fertilizer, it's just going to pour straight out of the hole in the bottom. I apologise if you've watched more than one of my videos recently and I've said that, but I think it bears repeating, and for some people it'll be the first time they've heard it. Good. Garden tap. Let's make sure everything settles, and whilst the compost substrate, however you want to phrase it, is dry like this, it settles really rather nicely. Okay, so that's the new front. Let's move you back a little bit so you can see the whole thing. There's the new front. I kind of like the sort of sweeping angle there. Hopefully it will throw out some more buds and respond to this chopping, or it won't. It was a free piece of material. It was a piece of willow that I picked up off the side of the path at the canal when they were cutting back a tree, rooted in some water, and there you have it. Let's give it a drink. Finally out it comes out of the bottom. This pot holds quite a lot of water. This piece is kind of uniform in thickness, so I may well chop it back once the tree's in active growth, but for now I think I'll leave it at that, put it away somewhere sheltered to recover for a few weeks before it goes back out on the bench in the sunshine, which fingers crossed we'll have some more sunshine by then. Okay, so the piece I cut off I've put into this shallow bowl, really, almost as a kind of literati tree. I'm gonna shorten it just a little. Back to where I can see a bud pop in. And we'll see how these trees do, and we'll revisit them in the summer. So that's all there is to say and do for today, so all that's left is to say thank you so much for watching. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, comment below. But most of all, please stay safe, everybody.